Yo, what's up, guys? Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs. I know it's been a while. Sorry about that. I've been posting videos, just not on this channel, so I apologize. So, we're going to hit you with kind of a weird discussion conversation that doesn't really work on either of my other channels. I have been posting over there, though. Hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving, or just the holidays, or just spending time with your family or loved ones. And hopefully you're looking forward to the next one that comes in like less than a month. Anyways, today we're going to talk about live adaptations of cartoon films. And obviously this is centered primarily around the recent push of Walt Disney and a lot of their live action adaptations of classic Disney films. I think as of right now, the four we know of, there might be more we know of, but the four I'm aware of is the Jungle Book adaptation, the Beauty and the Beast adaptation, the Aladdin adaptation, which isn't out yet, and the Lion King adaptation, which isn't out yet. And they're doing a bunch of fucking teasers and essentially a press run for the Lion King adaptation. They already released the cast list, which some people are super excited about because of the big names that are in there, like Donald Glover and Seth Rogen and shit. And I think, for me personally, it was this is literally a discussion I have no problem having. I don't fucking see the point. Because it's weird, because I understand why these films are coming out. These films are coming out because of money. Because realistically, it's not for me. It's for the younger generation who hasn't seen these films. Or who have never heard of The Lion King, which I find very hard to believe considering people like us and people who are even older are showing their kids the original Aladdin and Lion King and Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. Oh my God, some of those are already Lion King, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast are like fan favorites. Jungle Book not so much, but it still has its fans, and I still enjoyed it for everything it's worth. But the problem to me is even people my age are excited about this, and I don't understand why. Because I don't know if it's because it's a nostalgia trip, or literally because, why not? I wouldn't mind seeing The Lion King in live action. Because I don't think these adaptations do much to justify their existence, in my opinion. Like, for example, if you were comparing how you're remaking a film to remaking a movie, remaking a film to a game, Remaking a game developers still play around and try to modernize the controls. They update the graphics, obviously. But it's not just, well, some of them are simple conversions depending on how old the game is. But some of them actually try to modernize the game, especially if it's games from 10 years ago. Lion King, for example, is an old-ass film in 2018. So, once again, I get why you would do an adaptation of it. I don't understand why live action makes a difference. Just to give you perspective, I went and saw the Jungle Book live action, the live action adaptation of Jungle Book. I said, hey, I haven't seen Jungle Book in a while. Let's see how this is. A lot of people like the film, and I'm not gonna say I was against the film at all. I mean, the film was fine, but my biggest issue coming out of the film wasn't that it's like literally that's a 1-to-1 from the original film, and part of me is like that's cool, but isn't the whole point of Disney films is that they're timeless classics? That's the whole shtick with the film, with these films, is like the reason why people like Walt Disney so much is because their films are classic, and it's like you watch it and you never really forget it. For a lot of people, those films are perfect. So like, there's nothing you can really do. That was kind of the thing with Jungle Book. I kind of watched Jungle Book, and the only thing I had issues with, I think, was Christopher Walken trying to sing. That I think was a downgrade. In which case, like, I'll put it this way: if I gave the original Jungle Book a B plus, I would give the remake a B. Like, it's obviously not bad, and it's still pretty close to the original, but it doesn't justify its existence to me. Like, I'm not sitting there I didn't walk out of that and go, man, I can see why people wanted a live action Jungle Book. No, and I didn't mean the film was bad. It just, what's the point? I don't see the point of having it. I think it's literally, with 2018, 2019, we can make some amazing looking movies, especially with these CGI animals and shit, or changing the animation on the animals. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't really do anything as far as, like, having live action panthers and chimpanzees and fucking, I can't even think of the animal. Damn it, and bears and whatnot. doesn't really add anything to the film, in my opinion. The only thing it really does, in some cases, it makes some things look more awkward. Because you have these... One of the reasons why I like Disney films is not only because they use animation, but you could get really ridiculous and the animals can look very expressive. Whereas essentially what you have to do in live action is take an animal and CGI them to an extent to make them to the same level of expressiveness. Which in my opinion defeats the purpose of having live action. If I had to, live action should be able to give me an experience I couldn't get from the animated version. Here's the thing though. Animation has a lot more room for creativity than fucking CGI slash live action does. It's like, oh man, he's working with a real tiger. It's only cool in a film that takes itself seriously or like isn't rooted in cartooniness. And even then, because The Jungle Book is a film that for the most part does do that, it doesn't add anything to those kind of films. It's just like it just hits. It's like, here's the goal. The best I think most of the Jungle Book did would have been to hit the goal, and it got pretty close, and that was it. That's it. So I don't see the point. In Lion King, it's even worse because I'm like, there's no, I think people's hype for this film, this adaptation, is more so because of the people voicing the characters this time around, and pretty much rewatching the same film they grew up on. But that to me is a nostalgia trip. Does that make the live action adaptation a good film in its own right? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I feel like it should be... to me, if you're going to go out your way to remake a film, it should provide me with not only a similar experience from what I originally watched, but should also provide me with kind of a modern take on it. Once again, problem with Disney films, they're fucking viewed as classics. So how much of a modernization can you do on the story of Simba and Mufasa and Scar and shit? You can't do anything because it's not, for one, it's not an original story, and then two, there's not a lot there you can change. Now, one thing that might help it, and this is kind of my rule with all these films, is that they try to do some deviation. I feel like The Jungle Book was literally a 1-to-1, which is cool, but it's like, then you don't, why have the remake? And I heard people don't like the Beauty and the Beast one. I haven't watched it because I never care about Beauty and the Beast. And Aladdin, that one's dealing with humans, so that one might go over a little better and having some variety in it. I just don't think the animal ones do any different. Oh man, here's a real lion that's representing Simba. That's cool as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, but now he's less expressive. Like you had the CGI expression into an animal, whereas you could have just drew Simba from jump and showed off his personality just through his design. Like, young Simba looked cocky and looked and acted like a fucking boss, even though he wasn't shit because he was a cub. And then you get older Simba, who although has that same level of physically, you can tell through his expressions when he was nervous and unsure of himself and had lacked his confidence. Or like how people make fun of that scene where him and Nala are playing around and Nala gives him the look that, and everyone in the fan, and now that you're older, you all get the look. You're like, oh, it's that look. Oh, snap. You can do that in animation because it's really easy to draw a character like that and to have them look the way they need to look in a sequence. CGI, not saying you can't do the same thing. But to me, the problem is if you use too much CGI, it takes away from the live action, and which brings to the question, why is it in live action? That's the issue I have. If you're going to do live action adaptations of these films, but you have the CGI in a bunch of shit to kind of compensate for the fact that live action still isn't as expressive as you need it to be, why fucking do it? That's why I think the animal ones don't really work as well, because it's like, you can't, the reason why they were animated partially in the beginning with is because animation allows for more expressions and creativity and things you can't do in live action. In CGI, it looks like you're going out of your way to make things cartoony. And for certain characters who are already cartoony in nature, I feel like this is going to be especially apparent, especially with characters like Timon and Pumbaa. Those characters are so comedy and goofy oriented, there's no way. I would be shocked that if they're funnier, and to be fair, they might be because of... But see, that kind of works because of the comedians playing them. But still, it's not going to feel as natural with Seth Rogen and I forget the other dude's name voicing those two, because you're going to have to, once again, you're going to have to overcompensate for those to make them cartoony and goofy. It's kind of like why I don't like, what's his name in, I'm so used to him in Tailspin, so I don't know his name in Jungle Book. Baloo, the bear, I'm talking about the orangutan. What is his name? I don't remember what his name is in the movie because I'm so used to him in Jungle, and I think he has the same name, but it's still, I don't remember his Jungle Book name. I think I think the name is different if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure. The point is, it's the same thing. I like him more in one thing than the other because I like him more animated than I do live action because he doesn't have the same level of character, and it all depends on the voice. And we'll see what happens. I think, I don't know. I just don't personally see the point in live actioning a bunch of these, especially the animal ones. Now, like I said, Aladdin could be better. I'll probably go see Aladdin because I care. I like Lion King too, but I don't think Lion King's gonna be that good. And people will come out that room and be like, "That was the best film ever, man. I love Lion King live action. I'll watch that over the anime, please, please." I can't even imagine them capturing the same emotion. And when Scar was looking in Mufasa's eyes, saying, "Long live the king," and then throwing him off, you can't match that in the same ferocity in this animal live action shit. You can't, because it was in the face, and you can't do the face without it looking goofy and cartoonish, because it takes away from the live action, which is the whole point of having a live action adaptation. At the end of the day, this is for fucking money, but still, if you're going to do it, I want it to be justified. And people will sit there and go, "Man, that film was great." I'd be curious to see some key scenes, but I'm not going to go see Lion King live action. Might go see Aladdin, because Aladdin I think will work better because of how Aladdin is. But, I don't know, some of the animal ones I don't really see the point. And the phone's starting to go off, so that is a good cue for me to stop. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you care about these live action adaptations of Walt Disney films? And do you agree that they seem kind of unnecessary in the sense of them doing or adding something that the original couldn't? Now, if you take the animal aspect and try to go into a different direction, and let's be real here, if you were being one-to-one with the fucking Jungle Book movie, I can only imagine that you're going to have to be insanely one-to-one on the Lion King film, because people will kill you. But the problem is, I don't think a lot of those sequences work the same way in live action. So, we'll see. That's the only way that'll make it different, is if they're willing to take a different route. But, I don't know. Please leave your thoughts in the comments in the comment section below, folks. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Vlogs Game from your boy Jarrell, and I will catch you guys later. And let me know if you're getting anything on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, any of that shit. Peace. Oh. Don't touch me! Ugh.